Hey everyone, it's Zach Beck. Millions of Americans filed tax returns this year expecting a refund. And unfortunately, due to the pandemic and external factors, the IRS has been significantly delayed in issuing these refunds to members of our society who desperately need them right now. And what we are finding is there are 2.5 million tax returns that have yet to be processed by the IRS. According to IRS Commissioner Charles Rettig, he reported to the House of Representatives that this delay was caused to the shutdowns that transpired back in the spring, as well as all of the issues associated with delaying the tax filing season from April 15th to July 15th. So what I want to do in this video is talk about where the tax refunds stand right now, when you should expect to receive yours, and what you should do with your money if you do receive your refund soon in order to make the most of this current economic climate that we're in so that you can pursue your financial goals. So let's jump into it right now. As previously mentioned, the IRS is currently processing 2.5 million tax returns. This is taking a significant amount of time, and it is causing issues for people on both sides of the political spectrum, because what we're finding is lawmakers right now are hearing from all of their constituents, both Republicans and Democrats, saying, hey, I have not received my tax return, where is it? And from my perspective, this should not be a political issue at all. People who have been unemployed due to closures that were caused due to the pandemic are due to receive this kind of payment so that way they can sustain themselves financially, get through this process and move forward. But what I want to share right now is that it's very important for us to understand where we are now relative to where we were even in the spring. Because back in the spring, mid-March to April, the IRS actually had 23 million tax returns that they were trying to process. That number got all the way down to 12.3 million by the time July hit. So they've been doing their work to steadily decrease the amount of tax returns that they're filing, but still we stand at 2.5 million and we're almost at the end of the year. So if you currently are facing this issue where you have not received your refund yet, I specifically have one recommendation for you that I believe could work, and it worked for myself. From that standpoint, I filed my taxes back in March, and that was right before the pandemic hit and all the closures occurred. But back in March, I filed my taxes, I was due a refund, and then I kept waiting, knowing that it was going to take the IRS some time given all these circumstances that I referred to previously. But up until August, I had not received my tax refund. So what I decided to do is get on the phone with the IRS, contact them, and try and figure out what is the status of what is happening right now. So by the time I was able to get on the phone and actually talk to someone from the IRS, which took quite a bit of time, what he told me to do was file a Form 3911. And a Form 3911 is simply an inquiry into the IRS, which basically says, where is my tax refund? And what he specifically recommended I do is that not just do I fill it out and then mail it in, he said I should fax that form into the IRS. So I followed his recommendations and I faxed the Form 3911 into the IRS in the beginning of August, and I kid you not, a week later I received my tax refund. And I was quite surprised because I had not inquired at all or seen any updates on the website about when I was due to receive my refund, but this specifically worked for myself. Now it could have been a coincidence possibly, but I don't think that is the case given how much time I'd already waited until that point. So if you have not received your refund yet, I would strongly encourage you to file your Form 3911 via fax to the IRS. I'll put a link in the description for you to check it out, and I would recommend doing so. As previously mentioned, the IRS is currently processing 2.5 million tax returns and trying to issue refunds to those who need them. And what we're finding is that according to the IRS Commissioner, he says that they can process up to 1.3 million pieces of mail each week. So I know I said 2.5 million tax returns, but there's actually 5.3 million pieces of mail. So from that standpoint, it could take us another 5 to 6 weeks for the IRS to finish processing all of these returns that have been filed so far. What we're finding is that about 70% of those returns actually end up issuing a refund. So there's 30% of people who file their taxes who that when they do so, they're actually going to have to make a payment back to the IRS, but 70% are actually going to be receiving some sort of a refund. Now I can talk about this at a different time a little bit more in depth, but getting a refund isn't necessarily a good thing. What we should be doing is having proper deductions out of our payments and our paychecks throughout the course of the year, so that way we're not actually asking the government to give us back our money. We should just have that money in the first place. That's an aside, but but what's important for you and I to understand is that right now the IRS is going through the process of processing these 5.3 million pieces of mail, of which 2.5 million are actual tax returns. And if they do it at the current pace that they have said, according to the IRS Commissioner, we should expect all these to be processed within the next 5 to 6 weeks. You might be asking yourself, what is the average tax refund that is issued by the IRS? And it is actually $2,741. So people who are actually receiving a refund right now, it is very significant for them, especially if they've either been laid off, they've been furloughed, or they're struggling financially due to the pandemic. So from that standpoint, it is all the more essential for the IRS to issue these refunds as quickly as possible. And what we're finding is that they have been significantly delayed because of the pandemic, because of the closures, but also because of the economic stimulus payments the IRS had to issue over the course of the last few months, with still outstanding stimulus payments that have not been issued as of yet. So the IRS is clearly overworked. They're clearly inundated with more amount of information, more amount of processing than they have the capacity to do so right now. But that is really not an excuse, because this is your money that you're entitled to. You might be asking yourself, what should I do with the tax refund once I receive it? Well, this is an important question for you to ask yourself, because right now we are living in very uncertain economic times, but hopefully the horizon's looking a little bit brighter, because we're seeing stores and businesses are starting to open again, the economy is starting to open up, but simultaneously we're seeing other issues and maybe potential lockdowns in Europe that could trickle their way over here because of the cooler weather and things like that. So things are a bit uncertain. So if you're due a refund and you're going to receive it from the IRS, obviously what's most important is that you take care of your essentials, your food, your shelter, your utilities, and make sure that you have everything in your life just wholly taken care of, so that way you can survive and get through this. Now, if you're in a situation where financially you're actually going to be okay with just receiving whatever that amount is, what I would consider doing right now is looking at saving that money, setting it aside, or if you have outstanding debt, try and put it towards that debt, pay that debt down. In addition, if you have no debt, and if right now savings rates, as you're seeing right now, our savings interest rates are very low, if you have the ability to actually put that into the market, into your Roth IRA, into some other form of an investment account, then that might be a good way to go. And specifically investing with that money into what I like to do, what are called index funds, because they're safe and secure and diversify your overall approach to investing. But that's just something that you could do. Now, another way you could look at it is, if those alternatives are things that you're not as interested in, you could consider investing in yourself to try and create additional forms of income. So whether that's trying to start some sort of creative business, trying to do something personally like obtaining a certification that could help you get a promotion at your current job, whatever it is for you, think about trying to use this money strategically. Now, don't just think about it and say, hey, I should go buy a new TV or go on a vacation or do something like that. Obviously those things are nice, but not necessarily the most essential at this current moment in time. So those are just a few of my recommendations. Obviously, I just want you to make the best decision for yourself so that you can achieve your goals. But ultimately, if you are fortunate enough to receive this tax refund in a timely manner where it's not going to impact you too much personally from a financial perspective, try and put that money to work. With all that being said, I'd like to thank you for watching the video today. If you wouldn't mind, please like the video. That would really help the channel out for the YouTube algorithm, help push this video to other people who might need to hear it. In addition, if you have any questions, please comment down below. I'd love to interact with you, get to know you, do anything I can to help you understand the situation currently, but also if you have other financial questions surrounding the IRS, surrounding your tax filing or anything like that, I'm just happy to do anything I can to help you. In addition, if you wouldn't mind, please subscribe to the channel. That would mean a lot to myself personally, as I want to do everything I can to create content that makes a positive impact in your life by encouraging you and myself to lead lives of meaning and purpose, all while maintaining balance and moderation. And if you do subscribe to the channel, please tap the notification bell. That will notify you every time I post a video, which I do on a weekly basis. Once again, I'd like to thank you for watching the video today. I look forward to talking to you next time. Have a great day.